ready in 5,
So retarded.
4, 3, 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Where my mom's at? Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at? Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at?
Where my mom's at podcast with Christina P.
Meow, 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 meow. Come see me July, stand up. Gonna be in West Palm Beach, Florida, January 20th and 21st. Then to Addison, Texas at the Improv, February 2nd and 3rd and 4th. That was a weird fan. I finally announced my Handsome Woman tour. I am doing very limited dates. I don't come everywhere like my husband because one of us has to raise the kids. Portland, Oregon, March 31st, one night only. And I believe we're going to be adding a second show to that. So that's exciting. Rohnert Park, California. April 1st, April 29th, Chicago at Park West, and then Milwaukee, Turner Hall, April 30th, May 13th, Charlestown, West Virginia. I will be adding more dates, ChristinaPOnline.com, but not right now. And then also check out my lipstick. If you haven't bought it yet, I highly advise it. It's really quite a hit. We've been sold out several times, and it's just been colossal. And you can they'll email you when it's back in, and it's fucking amazing. So thank you to everybody that's bought it already. Anyway, with me is probably one of my favorite comedians of all time. Dad Chaniels is here.
Oh, hi.
Okay, so every now and then, I don't know if you have things in your head that you repeat on a loop. Every
Sure.
now, like
Yeah,
silly
of course.
things. Yeah. Mine for you is Dad Chaniels.
Oh, yeah, the flip?
The flip.
The letter flip.
I will just say it on a loop. Dad Chaniels, and it'll make me laugh. So I want to thank you for Dad Chaniels.
I don't think you do. I think you're saying, I'd like to thank you for fucking up your name every time I say it.
But what a funny thing. It was so simple and so good.
Yeah, it was very easy
Yeah,
to
I like
figure
that.
out.
Dad Chaniels.
It was Jeff Tate that first called me that.
Oh, okay. We love Jeff.
He
yeah.
saw me doing some bits on my kids, and he was like, okay, Dad Chaniels.
And then it was
Yeah.
so rad. What I love about you two is that you are a dad. You have 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
And how old are they now?
My son's 23 and engaged.
Oh my God,
I know.
Mazel.
And my daughter, thank you. And my daughter just went to college. She's 18. So I'm an empty nester.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
And what I've loved about you over the years is that, you know, you actually give a shit about your kids. And I think, like, before we had children, you were one of the few adults that I knew that had kids. And I'd be like, why don't you move to LA or New York? And you're like, no, my children live in, I live in Minnesota, and I must be with my children. And I was like, wow, that's so rare. And a man gives a shit about his kids.
Yeah, a lot of comedians are like, well, I have these babies all over the States, but I love Hollywood. Baby.
So warped.
That's not necessarily true, but I do love making myself seem way better.
Yeah. Well, it worked for me. I'm convinced you're a good person and a great father.
Well, I talked my daughter into going to California for school.
Oh, perfect.
So I can go out there and enjoy January and February and March.
Yeah.
Dad, you're here too much. I don't think so. I'm going to be out here all the
You're
time.
going to be gone now. So you raised those fuckers. You got a divorce, right?
Yep.
7 years ago?
7, yeah.
Tell me everything. Like, what is that like? That's got to be horrible.
Getting a divorce?
Yeah, with kids.
It was the right move.
Yeah.
For both of us. We've both agreed on that. And, I remember having conversations with both the kids later on, and they were like, oh, thank God you guys did that. So it really was better for everyone involved.
Yeah.
But, it's great now, other than when you're an empty nester, when you're divorced, you're just it's real quiet at the house. Yeah, especially my daughter, because she would just walk around humming. And now I can hear ringing in my ears. I'm just like, well, I guess I just die now. I've done it. Next step, death.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know, because parenthood is such a constant flurry of annoying.
Right.
And then awesome. And then exhausting. Like, we just had my kids, we celebrated Ellis's birthday. So it was yesterday. And you can see my face. Like, I'm still hungover and upset and tired and like... and you don't sleep. And then this morning they're up 6 a.m. for school. And you're just like, God, this marathon, when will it end? And then it does end.
Yeah, I mean, it does,
Ay.
but it doesn't. Because I remember, so a week after I brought Olivia to school, I called my mom for some advice, and I was like, oh, shit. I guess I'm 47, so I'm still asking my mom for stuff. So it's different because they call and whatever. But my daughter's good at FaceTiming. I live in the same town as my son. So I get to see them, and I also get to do fun shit. Like for the first time in, I mean, I think probably 23 years, I was able to go to Atlanta, see a buddy, fly to Virginia and work, and then fly to Cincinnati and see some other buddies and watch football, and then fly home. Because normally I was Sunday morning, first flight out.
Yeah, same, yeah.
I have to get home because she comes from Vermont, because we were every other week. And now it's just like, I don't have to be home for anything. It's great.
I'm trying to remember. Like sometimes I try to remember what my life was like before children, and all I can remember is how time seemed infinite. You know, like you had this whole weekend ahead of you.
Yeah.
And you're like, how many shows am I going to watch? What am I going to eat?
Right.
Will I exercise? I don't know. I don't feel like it. I want to nap instead. And then you would just take a nap. I just want to pet my dog. Oh, and then I'm so bored. Like, I don't remember. I haven't been bored in 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is incredible. Now you're like, what am I going to eat? Oh, I guess leftover mac and cheese over the fucking sink. Because this is what I eat now.
I'm
and where I
exhausted.
eat it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I can't imagine. Is it depressing at all?
It's not depressing. I mean, so I still get, when I go to California, we surf and do things we had never done before.
Oh, cool.
So that's really fun. I was lucky. I got not forced into, but we accidentally had my first child. And so I was like, I guess I'm a dad.
Explain this distinction. Oh, right. So it was like an oopsie.
It was an oopsie.
And is this why you got married, or had you been
No.
married?
We dated in high school and stuff. So it was
cute.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you divorced. You can't marry the bride you've met in high school.
That's what everybody says. Yeah, you're supposed to get out there and experience some things. But we waited 17 years and 2 kids, and we were like, let's go experience things.
Yeah.
So, but it's great, So eventually when I have grandkids, I mean, I can still...
That's rad.
I'm still mobile.
Yeah, can I tell you, so I think there's positive and negative to like delaying having children, which I did. I waited right up until menopause, basically. Like, hey, your last call, bitch. And then I did it. But now I'm exhausted. I'm a 46-year-old mom of 2 little boys. And I'm like, but then you did it. How old are you when you had your first kid?
23.
Oh, my fucking God.
I know. So at Olivia's graduation, which was just in the end of May, there was this man with a cane, just old as shit, walking down the stairs, and I go, oh, congrats on your grandkid for whatever, and he's like, it's my daughter. I'm like, well, look at you.
Yeah.
Don't yell at me.
Yeah, you're a mess. You
clean your shit up.
Should have done this sooner, dipshit. Not my fault. You're all old and crappy. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna be.
I don't think so.
Oh, no, I'm in great shape. I exercise and I eat well and stuff. But like, you're going to get to see your grandkids and really bro down with them, which is really exciting.
I think so.
Fuck yeah.
I can't wait to do coke with my grandkids. It's gonna be so great.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
And like taking them to strip clubs and
Imagine the synthetic drugs that are going to be available when I have grandchildren. Hello. It's going to be so great. We're just going to be sitting at the lake going, this water feels amazing, just patting it. I love it so much.
That would be so cool to share that with your kids as a grandfather. I feel like you kind of do have a license to ill when you're that old. Like, who's going to tell you not to?
Right. Yeah. Once you're old, all
who cares?
The consequences are out the door.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I kind of felt that way in middle age. Now I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. So, some people are like, can you not give my kids sugar and then bring them home to me? It's like, sure, I won't give them sugar. No sugar and mushrooms. Just walking around, just touching things. And it's going to be great.
It's so great. So much fun. Yeah, I hate parents like that. I hate the people that won't give their kids sugar or fun or TV. You're like, what are you doing?
Because you know what happens? Then they leave the house and it's all they do.
I know.
Is sugar, tea, everything you're not allowed to do as a child.
Yes.
You do as an adult, i.e. Michael Jackson. I mean, and I'm not making fun of him. I'm saying like, no wonder he wanted to, whatever his park is, his theme park, is because he didn't get to do any of that shit when he was a kid.
I know. Or other kids.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, you have to touch Peters when you're 7. You can't come back to it. as
You
an
can't
adult.
circle back.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny is that I didn't think you had to, but you do have to tell little boys not to touch each other's weens.
Yeah, I let that go. I was just like, listen, flick it, get it out of your system, find out if you like it. If you don't, then you know.
Yeah.
I let nature happen.
Yeah. Because two little boys, they'll pee on each other in the bathtub, and I'm like, you can't pee on each other in the bathtub. Like, you say things that you don't think have to be explicitly stated,
Right.
and then you're like, oh no, someone has to tell you not to pee on somebody in the bathtub. Otherwise, you'll just keep doing it.
Right. And
is crazy.
My sister has twin boys.
Oh.
And so when they were little, it was like straight finger on buttholes. Like, what does that do? At one point, they got out of the tub, and they were she was trying to dry them off, and they took off in different directions.
Oh.
And then I guess she saw one was going upstairs, one was going downstairs, met on the landing, touched dicks, and they were like, wiener high five, and then took off again in different directions.
That could have happened in my house today. That's going to happen today at 5:00. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you that kind of stuff about raising boys.
Right.
Yeah, they're highly homoerotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be like, I had to explain to Ellis, I caught him in his pajamas just fucking digging in his asshole. Like with his bare finger just digging in his asshole. And then he goes to the eye, and I was like,
Oh, boy.
we just had pink eye. I had to explain. I'm like, that's how you fucking get that. We just had this in this house. It's so gross. Are girls that gross?
I don't think they're that gross. I think they still do stuff. Because when
Yeah.
I went to the doctor, and I was like, yeah, I put the car. In the car. She's red, and looks like she's getting sick in the car. And he goes, she's not getting sick. Do you have one of those seat belts that click down? And I go, yeah. And he goes, yeah. Do you ever have to pass over railroad tracks? And I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like giving my daughter a joyride in the back seat. Just tick.
You don't think about that stuff.
I would never have thought about that.
Yeah. That's so interesting. There's like Freudian, whatever, the stages of sexuality, right? So it's latent now, it's dormant rather in childhood. And then when they become adolescents, it just, wow, right? It goes into a frenzy.
Right.
And it's interesting to watch those developmental, like from the minute boys come into the world, like their penis is just there.
Yeah.
And it's constant touching and curiosity and interest. And you're like, oh my gosh, now I see why every boyfriend I had is obsessed with our dong. Like it's your first love. It's your first relationship besides your mother. And it's this weird melding of like, mommy, my penis, comfort. I imagine. I don't know. It's all weird. And then you bury the mom stuff, and then you just go into penal.
Yeah, I never had that. I mean, I would sit and I could watch TV for 10 hours and just flick in my dick.
That's what my kids do.
Yeah, of course. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the original, the spinner,
Yeah.
just to keep yourself busy. Whatever that thing is. I can't remember.
The dick spinner.
Yeah. So you just, you're flipping it, watching TV, keeping yourself focused. And then, but I never had the connection.
Well, that's the thing is you bury it. So Freud said that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like, you suck mommy's boobies for milk, and then you bury that unconsciously in order to find women's bodies erotic. Because that's your first physical contact is with your mother, theoretically, unless you're raised by a man or a trans mom,
Sure.
Dads are moms too now. But who knows? And then you bury that so that you can become a sexual being.
I will do zero more research on this topic because it scares the shit out of me, and I don't want to know any more stuff.
It's so tangled and Freudian. Like my 4-year-old is we're in a love affair. I mean, he asks me to marry him every few days, and he just hates dad, and he's just all about mom. And I'm like, oh, this is so great, but it's so weird. Like, like I'm setting the stage for what kind of woman he'll be into, right? I mean, did you marry your mom?
No, I did not.
No. Well, you were so young.
I was young. Yep.
Yeah.
I married just the hottest chick in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Woo woo. Was she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rad. And were you like the football player?
I was not. I was the guy that quit football because I was a receiver and they never passed the ball. I'm like, I'm going to go box, show you guys. And then, she was a gymnast, cheerleader, all that stuff.
Smoke show.
Yeah, just 4.0 grade point average, all that stuff. I don't know how I tricked her into it, but I was like, will you spend the next 17 years of your life with me?
Oh, my God.
And then that's it, though?
And that, just 17, that's enough.
Can we just do this in
marriage.
stages?
Wow. So what made you want to get married young? Was it just where you lived?
I think so. I think the Midwest has this pressure, right? Where you go into a Dairy Queen, you're like, oh wow, you're beautiful, and you give me ice cream, and then we should get married. So I think that's just that constant, this is how you do it. This all the churches, that kind of stuff. It's like, here are the stages of life. You go to school, you get married, you have children right away. That's what I try to tell my son. He's engaged. I'm like, when you're walking down the aisle, people in this part of the country are going to be asking you when you're going to have a baby.
Oh, yeah.
So if I would like you to think about all the arguments you think you might have while pushing a stroller and get that shit out of the way. Travel, finances, all of that stuff.
Whether you're shopping for yourself or someone special, Adam and Eve will have the perfect gifts. And with an amazing deal at adamandeve.com, get 50% off plus free shipping. That's 50% off any adventurous new toy, a slippery lube, or almost anything else you desire. Our podcast listeners will get 50% off almost any item. You just have to use code WMMA at checkout and you'll get 50% off and free shipping. It doesn't matter what you choose. All will be packaged and sent discreetly for free. This is the best part, ladies and gentlemen, discreetly. I'm telling you, I've ordered a lot from adamandeve.com over the years. I'm with the same dude for a long time, and nobody knows what's in those boxes, so it's all safe. More pleasure in the bedroom is the gift that keeps on giving. Just treat yourself. Treat your partner. Life is too short to not enjoy yourself. Go to adamandeve.com, select any one item, then use code WMMA at checkout. This is an exclusive offer specific to this podcast, so be sure to support our show and use the code WMMA to get 50% off and the 100% free shipping. Code WMMA. Go to adamandeve.com right now. Oh, God, there's so much you just said right there. So there's two parts to this story. Number one, you're right. And I get emails from people who live in the Midwest or the South, and they're like, I'm 23, I'm single, I'm not married, I'm so sick of being asked when I'm going to get married, and I feel the pressure. And I'm like, you're only 20, what?
Yeah.
Why are you feeling pressure?
Right.
I'm like, move to the coasts. Nobody will say shit to you until you're 30,
Right.
And the second part to this thought that I had when you're saying that was all the arguments you're going to have once you have children.
Yep.
And you don't, Tom and I were married for a while, like 8 years or something before we had kids because we were so poor. We didn't want to have them yet. Mm-hmm. And then you can't, there's no way to prepare for it.
Right.
I don't think there is a way.
Yeah, because then, you eventually start making money and you go, okay, now we can afford to have kids.
Yeah.
But I would also like to use that money for other fun shit we didn't get to do.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Literally, Tom and I started to make money just as my first son was born. So it was like, we finally have money and I'm going to stay home for the next 7 years.
Yeah, I know. You're like, diapers, Amalfi Coast.
I know
diapers.
there's no Amalfi Coast
Yeah.
in my future anytime soon. Yeah.
But it's also like the, at least what I found interesting from the female perspective, maybe you can talk about the male, because I don't know, Tom's probably, we're both still in it. Like especially if you, like I was a man essentially. Like I had the life of a man. And I got to establish myself as a comedian and have a life similar to my husband's.
Yep.
And there was no boundaries. There were no limitations. What are you talking about? And then I get pregnant and it's my body that houses the child. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't feel good now. Like I can't tour as much. And then the baby comes and you're like, wait a minute, I'm the one that's up at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and my husband's snoring. I want to fucking murder him. Wait a minute, I'm the one going through IVF to have the second. And like the inequities just go like, oh shit, from the female perspective.
Yeah.
And then what's it like on your side?
Oh, it's fucking awesome. You kidding me? We don't have to do any of that stuff. We're like, here's what I'd like to do. I would like to ejaculate inside of you.
Yeah.
And then I would like to snore and keep you up. And I don't, you're not sick. You don't have to do.
No.
Eventually, you'll go by and be like, "You feeling okay? Everything." That's about the end of it for guys.
I know, and like we hate you. I hated Tom for that. At the beginning, I was like, wait a minute, nobody. And there's part of it that like there's a lot he can't do, like he can't breastfeed. That's
Right.
just fucking facts.
Right.
He can't intuitively understand what the baby needs the way I don't know. I feel like that's a lie.
I think there's a connection there with, you said you house the child.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that builds something for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't like babies.
Oh, I didn't like it either.
I mean, I like holding them when they're sleeping. I like when they would fall asleep on my chest. That's
the
the thing I
best.
miss the most.
Yeah.
But the crying and the nonsense, until they could talk, it was tough. Because it's like, I don't know what you want. I've done the 3 things I know how to do, and you're still crying. So what's happening here? And then, my ex would come home, and she'd be like, oh, okay. And she'd take them and put them on her lap and do this weird swingy thing with her knees, and they'd be sleeping. I'm like, oh, God damn it. But so that is the kind of the trade-off, I think, which unfortunately is that you guys have to do all of that at the beginning, but then you
Yes.
have that extra connection.
Definitely.
So
Yeah, because 0 to 4, I think this is, I like to tell women my experience, because the women's movement makes you believe that like you can do everything you want, girl, like just that, and it's like, sure you can't, but like you can hire someone to do the things that moms do all
Right.
the time. If you're fine with that, then yeah, and a lot of women do, and like there are women that are at such high levels of like they're brain surgeons or attorneys, like they can't take 2-3 years off to
Right.
focus on their kids, so they have to. But man, it really is a trade-off. There's no way around that. It's mom.
And I think that would be hard too for moms, because you want that time, but again, you can't take it off. So, you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to hire this person to come watch my child for 3
my God,
years.
it's the
And
worst.
dads are like, could we do it for 7?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My husband doesn't have any qualms about that. And I'm like, that's wrong. He can't be raised by some other woman. Why is that? Why don't you guys have qualms?
Well, I wouldn't have liked that.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
that's why I stayed in Minnesota, and that's why I made
Yeah.
sure all that stuff. But I get it. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just you have dreams, and then you have children.
Yeah.
And you have to go, how am I going to intertwine
Yes.
raising these kids with my dreams? Am I going to
tough.
because if you let the kids crush your dreams, that's not great.
No.
And if you concentrate on just your dreams and the kids kind of go, off on their own, that's not great. So it's tough shit, man. This isn't like when people had 8 kids because they needed help on the farm
Yeah.
and they needed to have like a replacement in case the tractor tipped over.
I know.
So it's a different ball game.
It is a different ball game, and it's a different. I think too, like, yeah, because I watched my mom as a single '80s mom. Like she was like that first generation of like divorced mom, single mother, and the party line I was given about feminism was, yeah, just do it all. You can do everything, and it's like not all at the same time. Not if you want to raise children that aren't serial killers. Like,
Right.
I don't know. You make choices, definitely.
Yeah, and again, when you're chasing dreams, it doesn't always jive with everybody else's. My mom, when she got divorced, she dated this kid that was maybe a couple years older than me from
Ew.
Croatia.
Oh my God.
He's like, he'd been in the war in Croatia. And I remember I walked into my house. I'm like, who are you? And he told me in his Croatian accent,
Ew.
and he was eating my summer sausage. I'm like, bitch, that's my summer sausage. Who are you? And then he showed me 2 bullet holes on his stomach. And I'm like, you can have that. You can eat my summer sausage. I don't care. But it was just so strange.
Yeah, you don't take another man's summer sausage first.
And
of
you
all.
also don't take another man's mom. We were both men.
How old were you?
I was probably 21 at the time.
Ew, what was your mom doing?
Fucking a 23-year-old. I guess.
How old was she?
Let's see. So if I was 21, she was 40?
That's it? Oh, yeah, she can fuck at 20.
Yeah,
that was
she
rad.
started earlier than I did.
Good for her.
She was like, oh, we graduated? Come on. Put something inside of me.
Tick tock, motherfucker. Damn, dude. Wow. Is your mom still alive?
She is.
Oh, is she still banging hot Croatian dudes?
Nope. She's kind of single, retired. She sells pull tabs because she can't stand not talking to people. So she's just always out at the bar. But she's like, well, I get to go to the bar, but now I make money.
No.
Like, okay, mother.
That's
do whatever you
cool.
want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mother.
She's a great lady.
Does she live near you?
She does. Yeah, about a minute drive.
That's crazy.
That's what happens when you stay in the small town you were born in.
Yeah. Fuck, that's kind of cool, though. I mean, that's another thing that we don't have is that village of people to help you raise your kids. Like,
right.
We don't have anybody out here.
Yeah,
So.
I have my mom. Their moms, grandparents live there, aunts and uncles.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I went to a hockey game recently, and I was talking about one of the kids, and then one of the kids on the ice was a child of someone I graduated with, and then their parents came, so the grandparents, and I was talking with them, and you don't get that if you move to a coast or whatever. You're just sitting there watching your child, not saying anything, trying not to make a scene.
I know.
Yeah.
That's so, because here in Texas, people are so friendly. And like, I've never known other parents. Like in Los Angeles, I naively thought that other parents were like cool because we're like, we're all in this together, right? Like you're suffering the same way I am. Maybe we'll be awesome. And then I would drop off my kiddos at school, and then the other parents were like, "Ugh, bye." Like they don't even look at you. And I was like, "Oh, this is so shitty. This is so weird." So it's nice here. People really want to know you, and like, there's a community. It's very new for me to actually know.
That's great, though.
People's like kids' parents. I love it. I love it. It's so human.
Yeah.
I had no idea because LA, no fucking way, dude. It's like you're not cool or something if you talk to people. It's horrible.
Yeah, a lot of the friends of my kids were friends of mine growing up.
Oh,
so that was like
that's so cool.
Yeah, we tell our kids, we're like, you can't be friends with this one from 12 to 16 because they're going to form a drug habit and take their pants off a lot. I mean, we just kind of had the blueprint of all of them, so it was great.
So true.
Yeah,
that's
it was nice.
So crazy. That's another crazy part of parenthood is the blueprint because they come out and you're like, oh, that one's going to be fucking trouble. Like I already know. I'm like that. I know that guy. That one, I don't know what's going on. Like you kind of.
You try to figure out what attributes they have from each parent.
Yeah.
And then you just go, oh, shit, they got that one for me. That's not going to be great when they're 18, So you just have to figure it out as you go.
I know. I know. And it's interesting because I'm finding I watch movies where parents are like, you should be this way. I don't know if you're into Wednesday, the goth series on Netflix.
Oh,
Oh, you're not watching that as a grown man?
I'm
Wednesday
not.
Addams, the crime show. And anyway, her roommate is a werewolf who hasn't become a werewolf yet. And her mom visits her and they're like, so have you wolfed out yet? And then she's all like, no, Mom, I'm not the werewolf. And I catch myself wanting my kids to be a certain way too. And then being like, oh no, they're not werewolves. Like you can't. You know what I mean? Like I want my kids to be a werewolf, but they're not. Maybe they're not werewolves. Maybe they're like Draculas or monsters. You can't force what you want on them. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because I remember when my son was crowning, I'm like, I'm going to go get a hockey stick, I'm going to go get a baseball glove, and we're going to do this stuff. And then I was like, calm down, jackass.
Yeah.
Let him figure it out, what he wants to do. That is the hardest thing I think about parenting is not pushing them to do what you like.
Yes.
To actually have to, I mean, it sucks sometimes, right? You want to go outside and you want to shoot baskets or you want to play catch, but your son wants you to build a Lego spaceship and chase him around for 6 hours. And you're like, okay, I guess this is what I signed up for. You're just continuously doing this the whole time. But yeah, that is hard.
I hate Legos. And I'm so thankful that none of my sons got into Legos.
Here's what what immediately comes to my mind is when I got divorced, I made these, so I had 2 walls, or it was 1 wall, but there were 2 spaces outside of the window. And so I made my son kind of his little thing over here with a shadow box, and my daughter with her little thing over here, shadow box, their school pictures. And then I made their names out of Legos because they love Legos. And then a year later when I started dating, I sat my daughter down. I go, hey, I'm in a relationship. And she said, okay, that's great. And I go, it's going well. She goes, oh, good. And I said, she's really nice. And my daughter goes, she? Like she was so confused I was dating a woman. She thought I got divorced because I was gay. For 1 whole year, my daughter just thought I was gay.
What?
Yeah.
Where did she get that idea from?
I think the shadow box and the Lego ship. They call me mom dad as a joke.
I love that.
I hate it. Well, I don't hate it. It's it's nice to have that other side where they can come to you and know they can talk to you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but
we have a mom dad. We have 2 mom dads in our class. Like they're stay-at-home dads, and the wife's work.
Okay.
And it's so fun. And it's so funny because even those dads talk the way us moms do. Like yesterday, one of the dads was like, "We gotta go. She's got a call with the CEO in like 12 minutes. We gotta go." And I was like, hilarious, because I was like, "We gotta go. My husband's got a podcast at 1." And it was, like it was like just 2 ladies talking about stuff. But that's nice though that you could. I mean, I can't even imagine. Can you even imagine a dad that like, "Son, I made your name out of Legos because I know how much you like that." I mean, that is other level.
Well, I also wanted to make sure because I had been to single dads' places before, and it's like, oh, cool frat house, bro. Why do you have posters on your wall?
Oh yeah,
you're also raising a daughter.
Oh.
So I want to make sure of that.
You want to talk crazy? My dad had like full bar, obviously, and then like a Rubik's cube where each side was a different naked lady, which was really fun. Which was so confusing because it was the 80s and the Rubik's Cube. So I'd be like, oh, a Rubik's Cube, that's not for me.
Oh, shit, that's so funny. And now people are like, hey, can you solve a Rubik's Cube? You're like, I don't want to solve a Rubik's Cube.
So traumatizing. The most traumatic Rubik's Cube ever.
Yeah, you're just like, the one time I tried, there was a foot right next to a vagina. Hard pass.
Yeah, and my dad would have like Playboy magazine in the bathroom. So I grew up being traumatized by overtly sexual women's bodies, and like chicks were over at the house every weekend. And like, yeah, it's terrible when men aren't cognizant that there's like a little girl living in the house that will be forever traumatized by the adult sexual nature of your life. Like, ew.
Yeah, that was one thing, the revolving door syndrome. So their mom and I talked about that, and we were like, here's the deal. Date whoever you want, but let's not introduce them to every single person.
No.
Yeah.
Because kids get really attached. My kids remember a babysitter we had for like a month that we had to let go. Do you remember Miss Nancy? Like they bring her up and I'm like, listen, we had to let her go. She wasn't a good babysitter. Like they still bring her up. So imagine them. And every time my dad would introduce me to a girlfriend, I get so excited. I'm like, is this new mom? Is this going to be like a new mom?
Yeah.
Is she American? Is she normal? Does she talk to voices in her head like my real mom? I don't know. This will be exciting. You know, like some of them were so nice.
Yeah.
And then it was just dreams dashed because he would,
Yeah. My daughter
something.
came home after meeting a boyfriend of her mom, and she was like, so this guy makes the best bacon I've ever had. It's going to be great. And so I brought her to a farm to watch piglets be born. This is no shit. And she hasn't had bacon since that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good work, Dad.
I was like, oh, you make good bacon? Fuck you, dude.
Good
Because
work.
piglets are cute.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Thank
Guy
you.
sucks. That guy fucking sucks. So it must hurt if you like, does it hurt your feelings to hear them talk about the boyfriend being cool?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I really wanted it to be kind of that situation where they like them.
Yeah, that's better.
You know, I don't need them walking in and seeing some Croatian barely older than them eating summer sausage.
Oh, I had that. Yeah. Anyway, I just had a bad memory. Can't share that. Yeah. That's funny. Oh, you know what I always think about too with you is this great bit you had about your ex-wife where her teeth were always purple from drinking red wine. And I'm like, God, if that isn't the most relatable married thing. And it's funny because looking back now, I'm like, oh, that's probably right about when your disdain for her.
Well, here's the thing. I never had disdain for her. Oh. So I would write these bits because it's like when you do comedy, you can't go, we were out on a picnic. It was so great. People are like, this is fucking boring.
Yeah.
But so you'd write those bits about just the things that bothered you.
Yeah.
But it was such a small batch compared to what you enjoyed about them. And so I didn't realize that until I got a Conan set. And I had, it was some bit like, she would say, what would you ever do without me? And I said, I'd bring the kids to the cemetery twice a week or whatever. And we were going through kind of the thing at that time. And when I was on the show doing it, I go, oh, she's probably not going to like this. Because I wrote it before there were problems. And so then I thought to myself, oh, shit, this is going to seem really horrible. And she asked me about it. And she was like, did you write these because, are they real? No, they were just trying to be funny.
Yeah, you just kind of bullshit a little bit.
Yeah.
God, that red wine. What was it like? Was it like her breath or something? What was the bit?
No, I
Do you
can't.
remember?
I do remember that it would stain her teeth red, and then I can't remember what I called her. I called her an old historical person. Like, I can't remember who it was, though.
It was so funny.
It's
I'm
just
like,
so long ago.
God, it's such a specific. It is. Sorry. Yeah, it is such a long time ago, and I was like, God, that's so true. Because that was me when I drank red wine. Like,
I think that's almost everybody.
every woman. Yeah, babe. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, because it's like you'll smile and
Yeah.
you'll see the red, and it looks like you just have like a cork of chaw in.
So gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
So you're banging broads now. Are you on the apps?
I've never been on an app.
Oh, okay.
I refuse to be in a picture contest with 20-somethings.
I know.
Yeah, that's no thanks for me. But I did meet a gal.
Oh, so right. But before that, you how did you bang? So when you get out of
Well, I had a long-term girlfriend before that too.
okay,
So kind of came out, had some space after the marriage, dated somebody for quite a while. And then that didn't work out after, 4 or 5 years maybe. And then had about another year off and then started dating this other gal recently.
so you're a monogamy guy. Sounds like you're into you like the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not built for hookup culture.
Right.
I don't think I can stomach it. Like even in the 90s when it was like kind of cool, I was always like, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's like anytime my phone comes up and it goes, hey, do you want to update? I always go, no, thank you. So I don't want to have to update and know all the rules of every single individual on planet Earth. So I would rather pass on having a one-night stand
Yeah.
than having to worry about, my father touched my back like that. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't know that. Let's walk down to the front desk and make sure everyone knows we're both happy. There's like all this shit you have to think about. I don't want to deal with that.
I know. And just like when you think about the first time you bang somebody, it's really, it's not great. I don't know. Have you ever, like the very first time, is it extraordinary? I don't
No, because I think
so.
you're exploring.
Right.
Right?
It's not. It's like, imagine it's always the first time.
Yeah, like Lewis and Clark when they were just doing cartography. They're like, we'll come back and enjoy the scenery, but right now we need to get the angle of this
Yeah.
river.
Totally. Like, I don't think I'd want to do this over and over and over again, like new person, but whatever. Anyway, okay, so you're in a relationship now. What was it like that first nut you busted after being married for so long?
Well, I had to wait because I got a vasectomy right away.
Smart.
I mean, right away. And so I actually had to wait until that was healed. And then it was a little weird for me because when they tell you about a vasectomy, they say the sperm still is made,
Yeah.
but then it hits the wall and they just die there.
Yeah.
And that's very creepy.
Yeah, it's so terrifying.
So I was thinking about that more than anything.
Yeah. Okay, you're
was
worried
like-
about your jizz.
I was with this gal and I'm like, he's going to like fill up like a balloon? What's going on? And I couldn't really enjoy it as much as I would have liked to.
Gotcha.
But it was, it's interesting because you're with the same person for so long.
No.
Yeah. And then you go out and yeah.
Like I can't even imagine Frenching a different person, because it's been so long with Tom.
Sure.
I mean, 28 years old is when I first Frenched Tom Segura, and that's the last person I Frenched. Isn't that wild?
That is.
I'm 46 now,
That's
so
a
it's
long
almost
time.
like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it like the first time? Are you just like, what? This isn't my
you do have to
life.
figure out because you can go robot with your wife. You
Yeah.
can just be like, this is how it works. I tilt my head 17 degrees this way. She likes my mouth open just this much, stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then you're trying to figure it out with this new person. It's like your 15-year-old having your first kiss.
Oh gosh.
It can be a little nuts.
Is it weird too? Because now you're all old and stuff, and you're not hot anymore, and then
Yes.
people see your naked old shitty body.
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine I would hate that bit.
That was uncomfortable. I'm a big, let's draw the shades.
so fucking middle aged now.
Can you turn your phone off? That's too much light. That kind of shit. I'm not into it.
I couldn't imagine. Like I've had 2 kids, and then to take care. It's different when you're 20 And you're like, yeah, it's hot. And then now you're like, oh no, I'm gross now. You know what I mean? You're like old.
Well, yeah, it's strange because when you are in your 20s, I mean, I remember I could eat a gallon of ice cream.
Oh my God.
And then just get up from where I was sitting and burn all those calories off. And now I'm worried about drinking this water. I'm like, where's it going?
I know.
Is it going right to my hips?
I know. I would go out, drink. I would have like a 6-pack of Zima or whatever in college.
yuck.
Yeah. Remember that shit? Like
sure
malt liquor.
do. Uh-huh.
So gnarly, dude. It was like Sprite, right? Sprite with malt liquor.
It was, yeah. And then you'd put a little bit of schnapps in it to give it flavor. And then you were like, well, this probably won't make me puke, right? The worst liquor with malt liquor. Huh.
So what is malt liquor?
I think it's pre-vomit, right?
It's bile?
Yeah.
What is malt liquor? Like, it's the lowest made from malt by fermentation rather than distillation, beer with a relatively high alcohol. I still don't understand that. Malt liquor is a type of mass market beer with high alcohol, most close to say with North America. It's nothing. It's nothing.
I don't know, but fermentation sounds like you're doing a science experiment. And I don't think that's a good word to read that you're putting it into your body.
Ew. Yeah, it's cheap shit, basically. But
because there's more sugar.
Oh, that's
it's
probably
fizzier than regular beer because there's more sugar. Now, I can't have a drink and a dessert in the same time period.
No.
Because I will go full gut rot and I will have to lay down for 17 to 24 hours.
That's a sign of age. I remember we were having dinner one night with someone and I go, you want dessert? And he was like, oh, no. I choose to drink over dessert. I have alcohol or dessert, but not both. And I was like, that's fucking mature. And now I do the same thing. You're like, I can't do both. What are you, out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, no chance.
Yeah,
I
I'm
go
not King Henry.
Just full body cramp.
But I drink a 6 or a Zima, get home from the club at 2 a.m., order North Beach pizza in San Francisco, eat the whole fucking pizza, go to sleep, weigh 90 pounds, like perfect.
Yep.
And now, my God. Okay, let's do some follow-ups. We got to catch up. They're very important topics we discuss on this show. Do you have any weenie shrinkers, meaning things that women do that just completely turn you off? For instance, Bert Kreischer mentioned that he hates seeing women wearing bikinis and sneakers. He thinks that's a bummer.
So in that same vein, when I dropped Olivia off at school, I have seen the bottom of ass cheeks. I've seen enough of that for the rest of my whole life. So that doesn't do it for me just because it's like, I feel weird. Oh my God, listen to this. So they're all fucking dressed alike at this school. I go over and I put my hand on this person's shoulder because I thought it was Olivia and spun her around because I was going to be like, hey, and she turned around and my face, I can't imagine what it looked like. Because it must have looked like Tom Cruise in Minority Report when he ejects it so it melts. And I was just staring at this girl that was not my daughter, that I had grabbed and spun around. And she turned around to see this. The serial killer beard, just ridiculous. Because I had this excitement in my eyes and it wasn't her. And I was like, I raised my hands up and I go, I'm sorry. And I kept my hands up. Just so she knew, like, I'm not a danger to you. It was so fucking brutal. It was so brutal.
That's so embarrassing. Can I ask you seriously, like, honestly, is it hard to not be attracted to like your kid's friend? Like,
not
it's
even
primal.
a little bit.
Really? You've shut it down where you're just like,
well, yeah, it's just they're the friends and that's it.
Wish my dad felt that way.
Oh no. Oh no. Did your dad hit on your friends?
My friends' moms.
Friends' moms I think that's different.
That's different. But I think there was a babysitter he may have hooked up with who was like,
oof.
Yeah. Anyway, so boner shrinkers. Yeah, your kids' friends.
And then do you know someone that has a laugh that somewhere along the line they were told it's cute?
Yeah.
And it isn't?
Yeah.
And so they just do it all the time because they think it's cute?
I hate that.
That's a big one for me.
That's disgusting. It's not very genuine either.
Yep.
So my biggest vag dryer is adult men who have figurine collections or like, childish toy.
Like Legos?
I can't. Or like the guy that's like, I'm going to paint the figurine. Like that's his hobby. I can't fuck you if you're doing toy stuff.
Well, absolutely not, because they're bringing that figurine down to set next to the body they have chained in their basement. That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, of course. It's very juvenile,
Yeah.
childish. So let's do some follow-ups, catch up in the world of where my mom's at. Again, very deep topics we go on the shows. Just be prepared.
I'm ready.
Are you up on current events?
Let's try it.
Hey, Mommy. Big fan here, calling from San Antonio. I was watching your last episode, and I thought of a badge dryer. And it's dudes who have hoop earrings, like the small ones. Like some country guys have it. I don't know. It just
Hoop earrings.
totally turns me off. Let me know what you think. Keep the jeans high and tight. Bye, Mommy.
Bye, Mommy. At first, I thought the corks is what she meant. Like, you know, when like Portland, Oregon types get the cork in the earlobe. But she's talking about, she said it's a country thing. I
think it's just a hoop.
I don't like that either. Oh, that doesn't do it for me at all. I mean, Tom, I don't like that. That's what she's talking about. That's what she's talking about.
And I'll tell you, I had those.
You did?
Yep. When I was in high school, I had both my ears pierced, and I used to go with just green studs. But sometimes, when I got crazy, I'd throw in some hoops.
Woo woo! Both ears.
Yeah.
Wow. And did you feel like you were really cool? Like you're doing it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd walk out of the house and be like, well, hope I don't slay too much boogie tonight.
Yep. Yeah, that's a look. That is but that was like the 90s kind of, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. And like light denim, baggy denim.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Was that your
oversized t-shirts?
Was that your jam? Yeah.
Backwards hat.
Yep. That was kind of fly though. Like
Jet black Benz, plenty of friends. All the Philly steaks you could eat. Uh-huh. All of that.
I'm trying to think of what I did that was so embarrassing. I mean, all of it. All of it. I did this ugly thing where you shave the back of your head and then you leave the top. You know what I'm talking about? Like that was real dykey.
The sides too?
No. So first it was I started with just the back.
Okay.
And then that was so ugly. No, not like Kate. No.
Oh, wow. We call that the hockey mom where I live.
No, it was like in the movie Parenthood. She did it in the movie Parenthood. Martha Plimpton. And I saw that movie at the age of like 12 or 13. And I decided to do the same exact thing that she does, which is she shaves the undercarriage of her hair.
Okay.
I wish, there it is. That's Keanu Reeves. No, still not there. God damn it, Nadav. There it is. He's shaving her head. And that's what we all did at that. That's a young Keanu Reeves. Look how cute he was. Wouldn't you bang him?
I'd bang him now.
I know, he's so hot.
And it seems like such a nice dude.
Have you ever had homosexual
I haven't.
sex? No.
I haven't. But listen, it's still not something I'm saying I won't do.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, what am I going to just all of a sudden limit my options?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm getting old.
You're getting old. You
I'm getting
better
old.
suck a dick now.
Well, I'm just saying there are, I'm losing people. Right now, there's only one side I have sex with,
Yeah.
and those people are dropping off by the millions
Yeah.
as I age. Maybe there's somebody on the other side that's like, I like this about you.
Yeah. I'm excited for you. And
excited for
you're
you
in a
too.
demographic. What's cool about gay men is that, yeah, you age out of like twink, okay, which is like the hot, skinny 20-something. But now there's this whole demographic of gay men. You're a bear. You'd be considered a bear.
Oh.
And they like the beards. They like you're a man. You're a grown-ass man. And you have more money, so that's attractive to younger gay men. And, you could really thrive in the gay community. You should really give it some serious consideration, okay?
Okay.
I don't know what lesbians do. I wonder if lesbians have these categories. Lesbians, are you listening to this? Let me know what it's like to be a mid-40s lesbian and what my prospects would be if I were to suddenly go that route. I'm curious because I don't have 40-year-old lesbian friends. I have gay male friends that are my age, and they tell me all the deets. All right, let's do another follow-up.
Hey, Christina. I'm listening to a recent episode here, and you're talking about funny traumas and stuff, and boy, do I have one.
Okay.
So I got home early from school one day. When I say early, I'm saying like 10 minutes early. And my mom was usually gone by then, but I saw her car was parked in the driveway, so I went around to the back door of the house. The blinds are shut. I'm like, this is weird. Usually my mom leaves before I get home. So I open up the back door, and I go, walk into the basement. and my mom has porn on the big screen TV and is what I can only describe as really disrespecting herself with the purple dildo. So I made the mistake of telling my basketball friends, and I shit you not, I started getting just nothing but purple fucking phallus-shaped gifts in my locker. So yeah, that's my recent trauma. This is Joe from Wisconsin. Thanks.
Recent trauma?
Well, I actually put a call out for like funny traumas. Like one time I walked in and my dad was peeing and I saw my dad's dick. That was terrible, but not like my mom was masturbating with a vibrator and I saw my mom. That's real trauma. I meant like LOL. Like one time I went to kiss my stepdad and I went to kiss his cheek, but then he turned his head and our lips met and I like accidentally, and I was like, oh, like I think about that. I've thought about that for 17 years. Mm-hmm. Funny trauma.
Yeah, here's some funny trauma.
Yeah.
I came home one time and I heard Melissa Etheridge playing in the bathroom and water splashing around. And then I went in there later and my mom had been in there and there were candles lit and she was all by herself.
Right.
So that is disgusting and I'm trying not to even think about it right now, even though I just said it out loud.
Is that a true one?
That's a true one.
Oh, wow. Melissa Etheridge.
I can't even listen.
Yeah.
Nope.
Once you know what music your parents like finger themselves to or bang to.
Yeah. With Melissa Etheridge, I can play Name That Tune in one note every time.
Because of your mom.
Come off. Radio's off. I don't need to hear To My Window, Melissa. I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So gross.
My dad's was Julio Iglesias, which is so on the nose, right? Like he would put on those records. And every time I hear Julio Iglesias, I want to vomit. And his son had a music career too, and I won't even listen to the son's music because I'm so traumatized by my dad's Julio Iglesias.
Yeah, I don't have sex to music.
I know. I kind of don't either now because we have kids. So it's just like, we have 5 minutes. Let's fuck. Like, there's no time for music.
I need the lights off. No music. I'm really fun. I'm really fun in the bedroom. It just seems like a Dexter room. Let's get the plastic down. It's ridiculous.
Wow. Your girlfriend's so lucky.
Yeah.
Just bare minimum, like quiet. Mm-hmm. Do you need it dark, dark, dark?
Well, yeah, I just don't like, I mean, I'm going to be on top and you're going to see my tits clacking together. Like one of those things on a desk.
It's the worst.
No, thank you.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's so gross. I know. You think about why porno people are so special, and it's because they have bodies that you want to see having sex.
Right.
Like the average person, you don't want to see that. I mean, even if you're just like a regular body, like you don't want to see that. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and it's weird because my girlfriend is hot and does have one of those bodies.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
And so here's how much I hate my body. I hate my body so much I'm willing to not see her body.
You're a chick. You're kind of gay. I think you're a little. You're kind of a little.
I'm a mom dad. What are you
you're a mom
about
dad.
I don't like it.
You're such a mom dad. Yeah, you kind of got mom vibes. I like that. Yeah, we should hang out. You want to go to the playground?
Yes.
That's so funny. Gosh. You'd be willing to sacrifice looking at your hot girlfriend's body just to save your own shame.
Yeah.
That's
because
cool.
I don't want to see, so like I'll go up, right? Go up her body from feet. Oh, there's some good stuff. And there's also some good stuff. And then I see the look in her eyes as she's looking at my body. No.
No thanks.
Talk about a boner shrinker. No way.
Women are much more forgiving of physical.
Yeah, she's super nice. And she just goes,
yeah.
she goes, I don't care. I love it. I don't care about it. And I'm like, that's no thanks still.
No, thank you for putting it that way too. She's like, you're a pig. It's cool. I don't care. You're disgusting.
I don't care that you're the fattest person I've ever dated. It doesn't matter.
You're all old and fat and shitty, and that's cool.
When I first had a crush on you, it was right after your divorce and you were thin from working out, and now you're not.
I know. Okay. Let's do another phone. Yeah.
Hi, Mommy. This is Jessica from Dallas, Texas. I'm 31 years old, and I've got some trauma for you.
Uh-oh.
So I've known my stepmom my whole life, and when her and my dad got back together, and, I was 14, well, long story short, basically she tells me about their sex life.
Oh,
and
God.
Honest to God, she told me about the time she broke my dad's dick. Oddly, weirdly inappropriate. Yeah, apparently it was, she was writing it backwards, whatever. But yeah, no, long story short, most traumatic thing ever. Well, yeah, no, keep it high and tight. I'm excited to see y'all in February. Love you, teens.
Let me just put this out there for all the people listening, step parents, parents. Your children want to know absolutely nothing about your sex life. They don't want to hear sex jokes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to hear anything about your genitals,
right.
your partner's genitals. They don't want to see you going to the bathroom, getting out of the shower.
Right.
They want to know you as asexually as possible.
Yeah, as a clothed adult that doesn't have fun. That's how I want to know you.
Yeah.
And also something for this last caller, the guy that your stepmom was with before she got back together with your dad had a bigger dick than your dad, and she thought she was working with more, and that's why she sat on his dick and broke it.
Just to clarify.
That's just a fact.
Just to clarify. In case.
So also you've got some more trauma to deal with.
Do you ever, I hated sex jokes. Like my dad one time, he would tell me sex jokes. And when I was in my 20s, and I was like, I'm going to fucking throw up. I don't ever want to hear your sense of humor about sex.
Right.
It's so repugnant. It's so repulsive. And my mom one time told me about my stepdad's peener. And I was like, I don't want to know. Your stepdad's pickle. He's pickle. He wants his pickle. And I was like, that's so fucking gross that you call it his pickle.
Wow.
And it's just, ugh.
I've never had to deal with any of that stuff.
Well, you're Midwestern. You guys don't say anything to each other.
My mom kept it classy. My dad took off early enough where I didn't have to deal with his bullshit. So it was great.
He took off? He abandoned you guys?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Oh, probably. When he left the last time, I think I was 21 because he had used my driver's license to steal my identity. It's pretty cool.
Hey, we've all got cool dads. Welcome to the Cool Dad Club.
Thank you so much.
There's a lot of cool dads out there. That's
so many.
Fucking monumental. Well, no wonder you're kind of a mom dad because you had a shit dick of a bio dad who didn't do a good job. And I think in some ways that's good because it makes you an amazing parent because you're like, I'm not going to do this to my children. What was done to me.
Yeah, that's true. I think sometimes we overcorrect.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think for the most part, you pick and choose what you like from your parents and what you don't like, and you try to make your perfect parenting scheme.
Mm-hmm. And how does that go?
I mean, it's all right until you realize that your kids also don't like some of the stuff that you did like about your parents. But
I know. I do overcorrect. I try really hard not to. But then Tom's attitude, I look to him more because he's more like, it's fine. Everything's... And I'm like, oh, okay. But is that just like a lazy dad attitude or is that the right attitude?
No, I think sometimes you just got to let it unfold.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because really I can't do much other than be there and try to... Right?
Yeah. I mean, if your kids are killing your pets...
That's different. Yeah.
And then Tom's like, it's fine. Relax.
No.
That's less dog food to buy. We're good.
You might actually. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. One more.
Hey, Jeans. This is Corey from Iowa. I've been thinking of a traumatic memory for a couple of weeks now. I want to thank you for that.
Sure.
One time, I think I was 8 or 9, I walked in on my dad in the bathroom, completely naked. And not only did I see everything, and he had a lot of hair down there, but he was blow drying his pubic hair. And not only was he blow drying his pubic hair, but he was flapping his penis around with his hand, trying to get the hair dry. So the penis was flopping around like an elephant trunk. And at least a couple of times a year, I think of this, and you brought it to the forefront of my mind. Thank you so much. Keep it high and tight. All right, bye.
Now that's a funny one. That's the shit I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
watching your dad blow dry his pubes and flop his dick around.
I think if he's flopping his dick around, isn't he blow drying his dick? Maybe.
Maybe, or just the undercarriage, because doesn't that stay wet in between your dick and your beans?
Yeah,
that
you got to make sure,
area?
and that's a sweat zone.
Yeah.
It can be depending on what you're doing. So you
Yeah.
got to make sure that that's
Dry.
You can't have any water down there to get the process started.
Of course.
You need that to be.
That's what I imagine he was up to.
Yeah, I think so too. But
Drying.
I picture him styling his pubes, which makes me laugh. So like giving his dick bangs, he's just combing it down. Oh man.
He's like, maybe a side swipe today.
Yeah.
I'm going to trim that.
By the way, Corey, elephant trunk?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That must be nice, huh?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Do you feel like your penis size informs your personality?
I would say men in general.
Yeah, meaning
I would say if you have a hog, you don't have to figure out how to have a good personality. And you don't have to be funny.
yeah.
That's why I don't know how many big dicks there are in the comedy community.
Milton Berle? That's the
Yeah.
only one Uncle Milty apparently had a hammer on him.
I don't know, but I know that there's a lot of kids telling jokes in high school because they're uncomfortable with their dick size.
They're dongs. Yeah, I'm trying to think back in my Rolodex. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, it's interesting because Dr. Droop brought up a thing about women's clitorises and where they are in relation to their vaginal opening and how that would inform their personality.
Whoa, what?
Something like that, about how there's some study done and like, yeah, I mean, imagine if you're not enjoying sex, right, your whole life. And you're like, I guess I'm a lady that doesn't enjoy sex. I'm not a very sexually excitable woman. That would inform your personality versus having your anatomy built in such a way that like,
It's always being
you're
stimulated.
like, I'm fucking awesome, dude. I'm full of life. I'm the life of the party and I sparkle. Like I'm fertile, you know that I bet you, much like your hog. God, what would your life be if you just had a tremendously large penis, Jim?
Oh, I have no idea. I would probably just be cruel.
Yeah.
A cruel human being, but then I wouldn't have a lot of pants. I wouldn't own a lot of pants. I would have short shorts.
Yeah, I let that hang out.
And I'd just be like, yeah.
Or sweatpants, because I've found that the real power move when guys have big dongs is they wear sweatpants and then you can see it.
Yeah.
There was a guy at our old preschool who had such a huge dong and he wore sweatpants. I think just to show us all, like, look what I have. He was Israeli.
I had there was a guy at my grandmother's like adult home or whatever.
Adult.
Yeah. I don't know
Adult
what it
school,
was.
adult camp.
But he would come in with jeans on and you'd be like, bro, what in the fuck is that thing? And then I was just like, we're lucky that my grandmother has dementia right now. So she gets to see this for the first time every fucking
And
day.
she's like, oh my gosh. That's like a European move. The American move, or no, actually, no. Europeans like tight jeans. And I think it's to show off your dick. It's like the male hot girl thing.
Sure. In the Midwest, it's a farmer thing. Or like country music.
Yeah.
How you just want to push everything together to make it look more.
Gosh, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like we really uncovered so many truths today.
I think we did too.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to promote? I have to pee so bad. I got to wrap up the show too, Eddie, but what do you got?
Well, just my dates.
What are you doing?
I got a big tour coming up. Empty Nest Tour, of course, it's called.
Oh, that's awesome.
That starts in January on the 7th. But yeah, you can go to chaddaniels.com or that Chad Daniels on Instagram.
And you've also filmed a special, which we'll find out very soon about, I guess. Will
figure out what that was going to be. Yeah. Where it's
I'm
gonna
so
go.
stoked for everybody to, if you haven't checked out Chad Daniels, you're doing yourself a disservice. Check him out. He's so funny. We love him so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me in. This is fun.
You're my favorite, and I
That's
love
nice.
you.
Thank you. I love you too.
Okay. Bye. Until next time, stay cool, moms.
Hi, Mommy. Thank you for watching that episode. Did you like what you see? I hope you did. So why don't you subscribe? Just click the subscribe button and, hit the notification bell so you can get notified. And also, why don't you watch another video? Watch one of these. You know what I'm saying? Like right here, down there, whatever. There's so much stuff, bro. I make these all the time for you to watch. That's why I'm here. I love you.